Hello, grade six. It is Thursday, and we are continuing with our work of producing our summative. So, I want to go over a few things that will really help you to do better and score better on your summative work. So, we're going to go through these slides quickly, and I'm going to let you use the rest of today to get caught up. So, today's Thursday, December 9th, and I need to think about how do I check my progress? Okay, so same learning objectives. I'm not going to go through them again, but you know that you should be editing, revising, making corrections at this point. Okay, so today you are already in an ed puzzle right now. You are going to continue Noodle Tools work, cleaning them up, getting them organizing, checking for feedback. Then you're going to work on your visual. You're going to ask any questions, and if by some miracle you have some extra time out of your 70 minutes that you have for humanities today, you are going to work on CNN 10. Okay, so let's look at this. I have two really big issues in Noodle Tools. I am seeing a lot of people, and I'll click up on Noodle Tools and see if I can't open one of my own projects, who are very, very confused about the notes versus their own ideas. So I'm going to try to show you an example of that. And I put it on the slide as well, but I want to show you where this shows up on the card. So if I were to open up this project and look at my note cards, and remember I can hit detailed view to see more of them all at once. Okay, oops, that's my sources. So detailed view, here they are. And if I click on the first unpiled note card, it opens them all up. So there seems to be a lot of confusion around these three boxes. And I've just seen it just enough times that it makes me feel like I need to say something about it in the lesson. You should have your source link connected up here. So where did you get this information from? I do not want to see a ton of copy and pasted information in the quote box. I actually didn't tell anyone to make any quotes for this project. And just putting text there does not make it worthwhile. And it's actually not as strong of a reflection of your understanding if all you're doing is copy and pasting. But I want to talk about what we mean here with this little kind of filtered or summarized paraphrase box, taking all that reading you did and narrowing it down to just the important parts in your own words, and then your own ideas. I'm seeing a lot of people type something like this, which is great, and then just repeat the same information in the My Ideas box. Your ideas are not a summary of what you read. A summary is a summary. Your ideas are different. So let's look at that in what I put here. I read an article about ancient Rome, and I'm trying to think about how ancient civilizations and bicycle tires are similar or are alike. So I have all these great notes about different social classes. So there's a wealthy class. Average citizens lived a pretty good life, but it's interesting this article said average and then majority, so maybe it wasn't so much the average. But I think what they mean is the middle class had a pretty good quality of life, a decent life, but the majority of people did live in poverty in ancient Rome. That it was a patriarchal society, so the oldest male in the family had all the power, even over the lives of they could decide whether wives or children could even live. That women did not have a lot of rights, but that changed later on in the society. And that one interesting thing I saw was that the diet varied so much for the different class systems, and that you could really identify some people by the togas that they wore. They obviously purple. It said specific examples that purple signified power, and obviously I think it mentioned as well that only citizens could wear them, and that clothing could even signify your marital status for women. So I learned all these things about this different class systems within ancient Rome, and then I put my own ideas. So what I thought my own idea was that the social structure of ancient Rome had similarities with a lot of civilizations today. There's different class levels within different. We talk about in the U.S. as an American citizen myself, middle class, upper class, lower class, and that's usually based on wealth, as well as the extremely wealthy being the minority that there is a lot of power within smaller levels of in society, and that there are a lot of societies today where men have more power than women. Diet, clothing, activities definitely vary depending on your status. So I saw some similarities between what was going on in Rome and what's happening in the modern world we live in today. And here's something else. I can see in Rome, I should have maybe put in Rome, that there was a system in place where people understood these different roles. So, what that showed me was that the different members of the society were focused on different aspects of life. Can you see that what I have typed here is nothing that I stated over here in my notes? This is completely different. And this is really valuable because this shows my teacher that I've come to an understanding. I read some great facts, but I made some deep understandings about society and what the civilization was like that is different from the facts that I read. Okay, so I need to see that in your note cards. So if you need to go and check your note cards, do that now. You might want to look back and think about how does the information in here show me that this civilization is similar to a bicycle tire? Go and fix your note cards now. All right, then you think you are done with your note cards, and that's great. So let's look at the next issue. I put so many comments on people's noodle tools, and I am seeing a lot of people today. This is what I see for their response: status done. That means they just marked it as done without necessarily doing anything. I went in and looked at some people today and my jaw dropped because some people just hit done, 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 done to all of my comments that I spent a very long time putting on Noodle Tools. They made no changes. Well, guess what? You don't make any improvements. Your grade does not change. Marking something as done is not putting any work or effort into it. I absolutely am not going to have any patience for being flexible about a grade. Oh, is it a 2? Is it a 3? If I marked you as a 2 and you made no effort to improve, guess what? You are still at a 2. So, this goes for any Google work as well. When Miss Jones puts a comment and kids just resolve it without making any effort, that is not okay. So, your goal here is not to just mark done. Your goal is to actually go into your note cards and make improvements. Okay? So, open up Noodle Tools and any of your other work for this summative. So, a visual, if you've shared it with me and I've happened to be able to have already made comments, and go and actually make changes to improve your work. And then you can resolve the comment and even comment back and say, "Thank you, Miss Jones. I have made the changes you requested." Go and do that now. All right. Now, if you have any questions for me, I'm getting fewer and fewer questions every day, which I hope kind of makes sense as you finish up your work. But I am checking them each day. So go and give me any questions you have on Google Classroom. And let's just go through the checklist really quick. Have you watched the Ed Puzzle? Check. Have you reviewed Noodle Tools? Is your work acceptable? Have you responded to my feedback and not just resolved my comments? Check that off. Have you asked any questions in Google Classroom? Did you check back on Wednesdays? Did you add any new questions? Check that off. And finally, here's a big one: work on your visual. I am trying really, really hard to get you guys feedback as fast as I can, but it is time consuming. And so I know a lot of people shared their work with me yesterday, and I'm going to keep looking through it and keep giving comments. But you need to make sure you are utilizing this checklist for your visual. Can I find evidence of food supply, written language, government, social structure, technology, culture, and religion for what you are sharing with me? Whether that is a made up society or whether that is the one you're reporting on. Can I see that you've identified that? That's part of the standard. Have you paraphrased and included citations for any of your content? I've put that on a few people's work already, asking them, please, please, please make sure you do that. And finally, have you put any effort into the composition, the color, the creativity of your work? Um, there are so many ways to be thoughtful and creative, especially with digital work, that if I feel like you've spent, you know, just a few minutes on your work, I'm going to be disappointed and it's going to be marked lower based on that. So, please make sure that you really, really, really try your hardest to put some time and effort and thought into your work. Okay. So please use this visual and this checklist. And don't forget that the rubric is on Google Classroom. Okay. And finally, oops, let me go back here. Go and work on your visual now. And if you are done, you may go check out CNN 10. And that's it for Thursday.